As a fan of mail carriers everywhere, I urge you to give your Valentine these classic sweets chocolates from Hallmark. It's an exclusive collection of the finest chocolates. But the great part is, a few weeks after you give it, Hallmark mails your Valentine their second box of chocolates, all for just $3.95 with any Hallmark purchase at stores listed in Thursday's paper. So your Valentine gets a big surprise, and the mailman gets a big smile. Who knows? Maybe a hug. This Valentine's Day, go to Hallmark and give twice the love.
To learn more about women on the American frontier, the Library of Congress suggests these books: Pioneer Women, Voices from the Kansas Frontier by Joanna L. Stratton, and Sarah Plain and Tall by Patricia McLaughlin. These and many other interesting books are available at your local library and bookstore. Visit them. They'll be happy to help you read more about it.
Monday.
You don't get here very often, do you?
No.
There's a mystery man in town.
You thought that guy's my dad?
Well, wouldn't you?
Lord, no. He looks like a wimp.
An all-new evening shade. Then, on a very special Major Dad,
We're at war.
Does this mean you have to go, Major?
the Major makes the decision of his life.
I want to put in for a transfer to Saudi.
Major Dad, Monday.
Cher returns to CBS. Heart-pounding entertainment you won't see anywhere else. Cher at the Mirage, Monday at 10.
Detective Frank Keller has just met the woman of his dreams.
I believe in love at first sight.
But sometimes when love is blind,
I believe in this.
it can also be deadly.
She's a suspect, Frank. She's not the shooter.
Al Pacino, Ellen Barkin, John Goodman, for the first time on television, Sea of Love, Tuesday.
Shrewd bank robbers lure a rookie cop to the brink of death.
I was pinned down with two armed criminals trying to shoot me.
An all-new Top Cops on a special night in time, Wednesday.
When Farrah takes on Big Jim Brown, will Ryan take the fall?
Bobby will be taking a remedial vocabulary class, and I'll be right back.
Good Sports, Thursday.
This is CBS.
You've seen the January clearance sales, but at Jarvis Sound Center, we've held back till now with the greatest savings ever during the store-wide clearance sale. It all starts February 1st until it's all gone. All Pioneer and Sansui products must go. Some prices at cost. The clearance sale, Jarvis Sound Center, Caribou Mini Mall.
Columbia ski pants, $39. Boys Columbia Bugaboos, $59. Men's and women's Columbia Bugaboos, Whirlybirds, Criterions, and powder cakes, slashed to $69 and $89. Over 600 Columbia's just in. Sleepers in Caribou. Open tonight till 9.
When I found out my son was into drugs, I found him a drug treatment center in our neighborhood. You help one person quit, and you help get drugs out of town. I'm a drug buster.
See that house next door? It's a center for people in drug treatment. When it started, everyone objected. Now we all see it as the way to get drugs out of here. We're all drug busters.
Drug busters don't let drugs win. A public service of the National Institute on Drug Abuse.
This is WAGM TV8.
This is the CBS Sunday Night News. Bill Plante reporting. Good evening. More casualties tonight for the U.S., 6 dead in 2 helicopter crashes. The military says that both were non-combat related. A B-52 bomber went down over the Indian Ocean after a bombing run on Iraq. 3 crew members were rescued, but 3 others are missing. It's quiet now near the front, but as Eric Engberg reports, U.S. troops don't expect that to last.
On the ground, in the words of the U.S. command, it was significantly quiet. Iraq has pulled its troops back into Kuwait. But Americans at the front, like these scouts from the 82nd Airborne, expect more probes like those of last week. They note Iraq has little choice. Its Air Force is largely grounded, so infantry patrols are the only way to learn where the Allies are.
Push it out!
U.S. Marines are practicing hard for the invasion of Kuwait when they'll face the heavy fortifications Iraq has built to repel attackers.
It will take all the training and the expertise and the professionalism that we have to, in fact, penetrate and breach those defenses. It will be one of the toughest things that we have done in the past 50 years.
Last week's fighting showed that at least some Iraqi troops possess both a will to fight and equipment that is better than U.S. officers anticipated. The U.S. Navy found enemy sailors it captured were using night vision gear comparable to American equipment. It raised the possibility Iraq's army has infrared devices that could negate the advantage the U.S. expected. Several American officers say the early fighting also shows that Iraqi soldiers will fight hard. Said one American, beating him on the ground won't be a cakewalk. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Saudi Arabia.
In any war, waiting is often more anxious than combat. James Hattori filed this report from a forward artillery position in Saudi Arabia.
The start of a ground war is now as close as the Iraqi border, within sight and within artillery range of Charlie Battery 139.
The artillery has been known as the king of battle. It is the biggest killer on the battlefield, and it will certainly play that role in this conflict.
Helicopters prowl the no man's land ahead of the artillery positions. Charlie Battery mans 24-hour observation posts, watching for Iraqis in an area through which they've routinely passed for hundreds of years.
If one of our patrols meets one of their patrols and they have a firefight and they ask for artillery, then we'll shoot.
Until then, time is filled with anxious vigilance and waiting, a state of mind as difficult to endure as explained.
Hours of boredom and moments of sheer terror, and I'm sure the terror will come later.
There is time for music before the ground war begins, a safe distraction from the waiting, for there will likely be no high-tech night offensive as long as the bright moon is high. James Hattori with the 18th Airborne Corps Artillery, Northern Saudi Arabia.
A warning tonight from the State Department urging all U.S. citizens to leave Jordan as soon as possible because of increased tensions from the war. With pictures of bomb devastation in Baghdad appearing on TV all through the Arab world, Jordan's Crown Prince warned that the U.S. has miscalculated the intensity of Muslim anger. In Rabat, Morocco, a crowd estimated at 300,000 demonstrated in support of Saddam Hussein and Iraq. They carried pictures of Saddam and of Iraqi Scud missiles, and they chanted slogans denouncing the U.S. and other members of the coalition against Iraq. The president sends his budget for the next fiscal year to Congress tomorrow, and as Randall Pinkston reports, it's already setting records on the deficit side, even without figuring in the Gulf War.
Confronting a record $318 billion deficit, President Bush toasted the nation's governors just hours before sending his budget proposal to Capitol Hill. With severe budget problems of their own at home, many of the governors are concerned that the president's spending plan will trim costs by passing them on to the states.
As I hear them, they're saying the war is going to cost money, so we're going to have to make further savings.
President Bush is expected to call for an additional $23 billion in cuts in Medicare, the health program which affects 33 million abled and disabled Americans. The president's budget director says strong measures are needed to slow down costs in one of the fastest growing items in the budget.
Medicare goes up very substantially in our budget, but if our proposals were accepted, it wouldn't go up quite as fast as it would otherwise.
The big unknown in the budget is the Persian Gulf War. But the administration is optimistic U.S. allies will chip in the $51 billion they've promised, leaving U.S. taxpayers with a $15 billion tab, which will be added to the deficit. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, the White House.
Still ahead on the CBS Sunday Night News, the new postage stamps and the rising cost of licking.
I meet this old friend I haven't seen for years, and she looks like $1 million. So I get motivated. I join the health club. I can't get with the program because I feel so low energy from this irregularity I've been having. But finally it hits me. To get in shape on the outside, you have to get in shape on the inside. Like taking Metamucil for the extra fiber I need. I never thought of Metamucil that way. But it is fiber. Natural soluble fiber with no chemical stimulants, safe enough to take every day. So now that I'm regular inside, I'm regular with the exercise. So I look better, I work better. And I've met some interesting people here. I'm sticking with the program.
Natural fiber Metamucil. It can make a daily difference in how you feel.
What a feeling, feeling fresh.
Introducing Fix-It Fresh with a crisp, clean feeling and a stronger hold than any other cream adhesive. A fresh new feeling and stronger hold are two new reasons to fix it and forget it.
14 bodies have now been pulled from the wreckage of the Friday night runway collision in Los Angeles. 8 more were recovered today. The death toll there could go as high as 33. Investigators say that an air traffic controller directed a U.S. Air 737 and a commuter plane onto the same runway moments before they collided. 2 small airplanes collided today over northwestern Wisconsin. The police say all 7 people on board were killed. One of the planes carried 5 members of a skydiving club. Investigators are trying to determine the cause of the collision. A major conference on global warming opens tomorrow in Virginia. Delegates from more than 130 countries will start work on a treaty to reduce the pollution causing the change in climate. Deborah Potter reports.
One of the major issues facing the conference is what to do about carbon dioxide produced by burning fossil fuels.
There is a clear scientific consensus now that global warming is a real threat, that if we continue increasing our emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, that the planet will warm.
The question is, how much?
And look at this, 60s across much of the West.
Some scientists predict that temperatures will rise up to 10 degrees in the next century, leading to widespread drought and flooding. But others say there's no proof those theories will come true.
If they're not validated by the actual observations, why should we take precipitous, expensive actions based upon them?
In a booklet to be released at the conference, the Bush administration claims it's already doing a lot to address the problem. But while other industrialized countries have promised specific cuts in carbon dioxide emissions, the U.S. is still resisting.
If we don't act now, it will just become increasingly difficult and expensive to deal with the problem as we're forced to make more rapid emission reductions in the future.
But so far, there's no sign the U.S. will change its position at this week's conference, which means a final agreement on what to do about global warming is months, if not years, away. Deborah Potter, CBS News, Washington.
For those of you who have been reluctant to wear a hearing aid, Miracle Ear has more great news. If you have trouble hearing in noisy situations, the exciting Miracle Ear Clarifier may be your answer. The Clarifier features a special filter that automatically reduces background noise.
In a restaurant situation, it picks up the noises I want to hear, but the other noises are just moved off into the background.
If you or someone you know thinks they may be suffering from hearing loss, call Miracle Ear at this number and receive helpful information.
It really makes a lot of difference in your way of hearing and in your way of life.
Call this number. Miracle Ear will send you a booklet on better hearing, plus a coupon for a free hearing test. Call today. Learn about all the good news from Miracle Ear.
A lot of people don't even know you got it, especially the one I got, the design that I got.
Call this number. Find out if Miracle Ear can help you.
Joining us now, retired Air Force General Michael Dugan, one of our CBS News consultants. General, last week during the attack on Khafji, there were a lot of movement to the west as well. What was going on? What were the Iraqis trying to do?
There are apparently several probing attacks going on, Bill. The one at Khafji was the major one, and it was described as a spoiling attack.
Being what, exactly?
A spoiling attack is the attempt by one enemy to disrupt, to foil, or to spoil the plans and the prepared attack by another.
And then there was a much larger encounter a little bit further to the west, right?
There's still a great deal of fog of war about events in the vicinity of Al-Wafra. But apparently there were several large convoys caught on the road at night attempting to assemble for a major attack.
Was that something we knew they could do?
We've seen them do these kinds of things in the Iran-Iraqi war, where they move forces up to 100 miles at night, which is a major movement. It takes great troop control. It takes a great well-trained force.
How were we able to stop that, to hit that armored column?
Well, we're not the Iranians, and we have extensive surveillance equipment. We have extensive night fighting abilities, and we, in fact, conducted a spoiling attack ourselves by air.
Which means that we should be able to in a position to do this again if they try to move at night.
Well, General Schwarzkopf has great troop control himself, and he's demonstrated again that he's the man in charge. He's the man that's maintaining the initiative.
General Dugan, thanks. We'll be back in a moment with more news.
During the course of one 60-minute workout, a
body can be depleted of vitamins B6 and C, carbohydrates, and valuable potassium, all of which, it so happens, can be replaced by eating one Chiquita banana. So whatever you put out, put back. Chiquita, quite possibly the world's perfect food.
Pain from just one sensitive tooth can start the domino effect. Pain can make you stop brushing, lead to plaque buildup, gingivitis, periodontal disease, even tooth loss. Sensodyne toothpaste helps stop the pain and the domino effect.
How fast does Dristan nasal spray start working to clear up congestion?
Already? That's fast. It's starting to work already.
Dristan nasal spray starts to work in seconds.
Well, you can expect even longer lines than usual at the post office this week. The rates went up again today, and the new stamps are on sale. Bob McEwen reports.
29 cents, 10 stamps. Okay, sir.
The Postal Service had asked for a nice round 5-cent increase, but the Postal Rate Commission cut that back by a penny. So beginning today, it will cost 29 cents to mail a letter in the U.S. However, the post office says that Americans don't want to deal with pennies, and they're already getting questions about the new rate.
We're charging, 29 cents, and it takes a week to go from the Bronx to Manhattan or Manhattan to Brooklyn.
Of course, a new rate means new stamps. A first batch of 10 billion is being printed now. But because the amount of the rate hike wasn't known until 2 weeks ago, the post office also prepared standbys with no denomination. And to go with the old 25-cent stamps, you'll need some of these, though the design has raised as many eyebrows as the price increase itself.
It looks like something you get, it looks like S&H green stamps or something from a long time ago.
Whatever the opinions about the stamps, there is no doubt American postage is among the most reasonable anywhere in the world. In Great Britain, a first-class letter costs 42 cents. In Japan, 46. In Germany, it's 67 cents, more than twice the U.S. price, even at the new rates. Bob McEwen, CBS News, New York.
And that's the CBS Sunday Night News. Stay with this CBS station for continuing coverage of the Gulf War. I'm Bill Plante in New York. Good night and have a good week.
Later on Night Watch, the latest news on Operation Desert Storm. From the thunderous air attacks to the battles on the ground. That and more on CBS News Night Watch.
This is CBS.
KeyBank, helping businesses in Maine with 93 offices from Fort Kent to Agunquit with a complete line of business banking services, is proud to have been a part of helping Arby's become a new member of our community. KeyBank, America's neighborhood bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. WAGM TV8 is proud to congratulate Arby's Restaurant on coming to Presque Isle. We welcome Arby's as a strong member of our community. WAGM TV8, always here just for you.
Baby, then it was the last night we go. Hey, you were at a party, high in the sky.